Good afternoon. I'm going to be giving you a speech today, a student choice speech. The title of my speech is Fight for the Right. First thing I want to talk about is weapons. Fight for your right. You have a Second Amendment in the Constitution, which is right to bear arms. How many people in here have brothers, mothers, daughters, sisters, by a show of hands? Oh, everybody here, right? What I'm about to say, I want you to keep this in perspective. I want you to think about it as a thought process to where you're not getting upset with the reason of my speech. We use weapons in our profession in order to protect our country. The right to bear arms links into that by various things. By show of hands, does anybody know how many minutes each day there is a rape or burglary or larceny committed in our country?
Yes. Every 4 minutes.
Every 4 minutes. Okay. The statistics for that was found on www.fbi.gov. Every 2 minutes, there's a certain type of rape committed in this country. The credibility of that source, you can look it up. It's a government website. What I want to get into today is talking about why you should own a weapon. There's two reasons why most people own firearms and weaponry. The first reason is to A, eat. You would hunt for your food, right? So at the end of the day, you're going to sustain yourself and keep your body going with that. B is to protect yourself and those that are dear to you. When you say hunting nowadays is a sport, a lot of people don't hunt as much as they used to. But your right to bear arms goes hand in hand with that by a number of things. If you were in the country or you in the countryside and you had nowhere to go to a market to just pick up some meat, you would go hunt for deer during deer season, or you would go for small game or pig hunting, wild boar hunting, in the off seasons. Because here on Hawaii where we are, there's wild boar hunting all the time, right? The little ugly little things, all over the place. We gotta get rid of them, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? It doesn't irk you to see those little fat jokers with tusks just all over the place, just slobbering everywhere, and then you got them at the luau's getting roasted and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They get them from the mainland.
Oh yeah, they get them from the mainland, but they all funky and sloppy. We need our hunters to get rid of them. So if we didn't have that right to bear arms and exercise that, we wouldn't be getting rid of those little fat jokers and eating good and having that big fat pot belly that some of us got. Let's talk about it. I know everybody been in the market, seen that guy with that huge pot belly. He's like, man, he gets a lot of pork in. He's eating real good. The other thing I want to talk about next is your right to bear arms and protect yourself and your family. The first thing I got after was a lot of people here have families, and that's what I want to get here. I want to bring it home to your family. Okay, your sister, your brother, your cousin, they could be in harm's state. They could be raped, they could be home invaded and robbed. House invasions are very critical these days. So let's think about it, something that relates to all of us here in this room. Can anybody recall an incident all over the news, the Marine Corps shooting at the recruiting station? There are people that have the right to bear arms and they use it the wrong way. Well, now we're all subject to harm. And how do we defend our country? We do it with arms. We are a profession of arms. So with that being said, you should exercise your right to bear arms outside of your duty day. You should have a weapon in your home. If you are in the barracks, you can have a weapon in the arms room, but people off post. You have other places to store weapons, but to protect yourself, to protect yourself when you're outside of this installation here, this safe haven that we've built around ourselves, it'd be very wise to have a weapon. Like Sergeant Giddens said, a home invasion or burglary is committed every 4 minutes of the day. There are 24 hours in a day. The statistics of that is crazy. Your family's at risk when you're not there to protect them. If you have arms in the home, they can protect themselves, whether you're there or not. That's something to think about, especially with children, family. That's something we all here have in common. In the conclusion of my speech, I want you to leave here with this today. Are you the wolf or are you the prey? If you're the wolf, you're aggressive. Wolves take care of their pack, right? You're in a wolf pack, you're gonna take care of your pack. You're gonna eat together. That's what you learn in your classes about animals and history of these different parts of our daily lives. If you're, prey, like a sheep or, possum, you're less likely to protect yourself. You're gonna get eaten, become a subject.
I'm a sheepdog.
You're a sheepdog? Okay. They get ate by the wolf too. I just want you to know that. Every once in a while. but the thing is, like I'm getting after, you don't want to be the wolf. And you don't want to be a sheep, but you want to be in between, right? Because the wolf's the guy that's coming after your family. You got to be able to protect them. Right, bear arms, protect them. I know no one here wants to see anything bad happen to your family, right? Exercise that right before they take it. We actually just had the incident. In this conclusion, I'm going to draw you back just a little bit. I want you to think about when they had a limitation on 2 boxes of rounds per person. I don't know how many of y'all were old enough to buy weapons then, but you remember that, right? It was 2 rounds, 2 boxes per person, and they were just sending all the ammunition to Homeland Security, and it was aggravating because you have a weapon and then you can't get rounds. Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. So to wrap it up here, in my speech, I just want y'all to know it's the right that like I made a big valid point here. We're all in uniform. Just because we are soldiers or we're people who commit the violence on behalf of those that are not capable of committing the violence or willing to commit the violence, you also have to protect yourself. And by doing that, you need a weapon. Your body is a weapon, but you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. You don't bring your fist to a shootout.
Yep.
Bottom line, you can get shot. I don't know who wants to get, have that pretty nice scar in the ICU, but I don't want it. So, but with that being said, I will close out with thank you for having the time to listen to my ministry speech about why you should bear arms and your right to fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, thank you very much for listening. And
I'm going to buy a gun. I'm sure we do, Sergeant.